Welcome to our programming channel. Today we will see DataAdapter in ADO.NET. We can use the DataAdapter in combination with the dataset object. Like data reader, we cannot able to read and see data with DataAdapter independently. For that, we need to use the data adapter in combination with dataset object. Here we are closing the connection, so con.close method. Run the program. Now we can see all the three records from table. Data reader can read or display records in disconnected architecture. If we try to take data from data adapter in grid view directly, then we get invalid operation exception. Data source is an invalid type. So, like data reader, we cannot use data adapter independently. We have to use data adapter with data table or data set in disconnected architecture. A data adapter functions as a bridge between a data source and a disconnected data class such as a data set, data table class, and object of this class is dt new data table. Grid view one dot data source is equal to dt grid view one dot data bind. We are taking data table as data source. Dt is equal to null. Here we cannot see any table, and so here we can see blank result. So now only data table is not sufficient. We need data adapter also. If we comment this and see, if we see here, now here we can see data set is empty. Data adapter properties are using select command. fill method of DataAdapter fills data set with data. Now data is present in data set. Now if we perform insert, update or delete operation, then update method of DataAdapter checks what operation has happened, and with insert command or update command or delete command changes or updates the data in data source, which matches with data in data set. Data adapter objects can be used with data table or data set. One table can be filled in data table by data adapter, and more than one tables can be filled in data set by data adapter. And also these tables can have constraints, that is primary key, foreign key, and also relationships. Here we will see more than one tables, that is data tables in dataset. In further videos, we will see constraints and relationships with tables in dataset. Here we can see one table, movie table. This is movie table. We can take dataset, then we can take data table. Now here we are taking this data table. So here dt, and now if we see in browser or Google Chrome, dt is equal to null. Now here we cannot see any table. In data table video, we have created data table dynamically, but here with fill method, data adapter will fill data table with movie table, which is present in SQL data source. Now here we can see movie table with all records. Thus we can use data table with data adapter, and we can fill data table with one table. Now here we can see new table, animal character. So movie table and animal character, these are two tables now. So this is the animal character table with three records. After da.fill ds table animal character, now here we can see this is movie table and this is animal character table, and names are table movie and table animal character. So we can see two tables here. Thus we can use data set with data table and can fill with more than one tables. Disconnected data access is achieved through the data adapter object. In connected architecture with example video, we saw that to read records with data reader, connection must kept open. Otherwise, we can get exception. Similarly, in CRUD operations in ASP.NET with connected architecture video, we saw that for insert, update, delete operations, connection must kept open. But for data adapter, no necessary to open and close the connection. Thus, disconnected data access is achieved with data adapter. In the connected architecture, connection with a data source is kept open constantly for data access as well as data manipulation operations. Suppose if we remove this con.open and if we try to run the program, we get system.invalid operation exception and execute reader requires an open and available connection. The connection's current state is closed. In insert also, we can see connection open and connection close. In update also, here connection open and connection close. And here also in delete also connection open, connection close. So while read and display, insert, update, delete, if we do not open the connection, then we get exception. In this way, connection must be open during database operations or CRUD operations in connected architecture. Steps to use DataAdapter. First, create an instance of the SQL DataAdapter class. Second, create a dataset or DataTable object. Third, call DataAdapter's fill method. Fourth, set dataset or DataTable object as the data source of the grid view control. Fifth, bind dataset or DataTable to the grid view control. Movie. And now SQL DataAdapter. So this is the SQL DataAdapter class and object of this class is DA is equal to new SQL DataAdapter. And now here we can see string select command text comma SQL connection select connection. We are taking first this query, then comma, and now connection object. So this connection object con. Now we are taking data table. Data table class and object of this class is dt new data table object of DataAdapter DA dot fill. We can take dataset, then we can take data table. Now here we are taking this data table. So here DT, and now here we can see movie table with all records. This data table is data source for grid view 1. Then grid view 1 dot data bind. Here we can see the table. Taking DataSet class, and object of this class DS is equal to new dataset. So now instead of this DT, here we will take DS, and here also we will take DS. DS. Now here we can see table, and here all 3 rows from movie table. Now this table is data source for grid view. Data bind method, and now we can see movie table. Methods of DataAdapter. Fill method. With fill method of a SQL data adapter, we can able to add or refresh row from a data source and place them in a data set. For that, we need to call the fill method of the data adapter and specify the dataset table to be filled. The fill method uses select statement, which is specified in the select command property. Thus, fill method changes the data in the data set to match the data in the data source. If the connection is closed before fill method is called, then it is opened to retrieve data, and then it is closed. Data source is equal to DA grid view 1 dot data bind. Now data source for grid view 1 is DA. So if we try to take data from data adapter in grid view directly, then we get invalid operation exception. Data source is an invalid type. Data table class, and object of this class is DT. New data table is equal to DT. We are taking data table as data source. DT is equal to null. Here we cannot see any table, and so here we can see blank result. So here object of DataAdapter DA dot fill. we can take dataset, then we can take data table. Now here we are taking this data table. So here dt, and now if we see in browser or Google Chrome, invalid object name movie, we get this exception. Now after writing line da.fill ds, so fill method is important because it opens the connection and fills data table or data set with table and closes the connection automatically. Now here we cannot see any table. In data table video, we have created data table dynamically, but here with fill method, DataAdapter will fill data table with movie table, which is present in SQL data source. Now here we can see movie table with all records. This data table is data source for grid view 1. Then grid view 1.data bind. Here we can see the table. We can use data adapter with data table and also with data set. We click on data set, ds is equal to null, and again if we see here data set is empty, and now after execution of this line da.fill ds, now here we can see table, and here all three rows from movie table. Now here also we can see the table. So in fill method, the result of select statement means select query is important. That result or data is filled in dataset. In dataset, there can be more than one tables, that is two tables, three tables, or any number of tables. So we need to specify or write the dataset table name. Fill method automatically opens the connection and fills the data in dataset or data table and then closes the connection automatically. So fill method is important. Update method. We can use this method of DataAdapter object to transmit the changes of a data set to the corresponding data source. For every inserted, modified, and deleted row, the update method determines the type change that has been performed on it, that is insert, update, or delete. This method calls the corresponding insert, delete, or update command for each specified row in a data table in a data set. Thus, update method changes the data in the data source to match the data in the data set using the appropriate SQL statements against the data source. Now here we have new button update method demo. So first we will fill dataset with two tables. So same code of dataset button is here. We can take this connection string here. We will see root operations in disconnected architecture. At that time we will see all these things in detail. This is the code to add new row in table animal character. So new row will add or insert in data set, and also with update method data source will change according to data set. Click on this button update method demo. Now here we can see two tables, table movie and table animal character. New row will add in this table, and after this line table movie is same, but in table animal character here we can see 4 and here shark. So this is the change in data set, but in actual data source till now there is no any change here. So after line da.update ds table animal character here, now we can see here new row or record character id 4 and animal character name shark. Here with update method data source is also changed according to data set. In grid view also we can see new record in table animal character. So in this way update method works. If we insert, update or delete record means a row, then data in data set changes. Then update method calls insert command or update command or delete command and changes data source according to data set. That's all for DataAdapter in ADO.NET. Please don't forget to subscribe the channel and like and share videos. Thanks for watching. Have a nice day.